Back at it for another week of local television. It is Monday, 30th day of June 2025. I am Dan Koontz, your host. Last day of June, almost halfway through the year. And it's going to be warm. Well, hot. We'll just call it hot. We had 79 on Friday. We hit 83 on Saturday. Yesterday we hit 89, so 79 to 83 to 89. Do the math. High pressure is now here, going to be here for the next couple of days, so we're looking at least the mid-90s today. We could get to triple hit digits on Tuesday. Then we're going to cool down a little bit on Wednesday with a little bit of wind, but it's going to be warm. Now, we've hit 100 degrees already this year. I think it was like June 8th or 9th. We got to 102. I don't know if we're going to get to 102 tomorrow, but it's going to be plenty warm for most folks. Your very warm forecast is coming up. We do have a heat advisory. It starts in just a couple hours. 9 o'clock today, goes until 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Warm. News, yes, sports. Good weekend for the Mariners. They took 2 of 3 from the Rangers in Texas. All of them went to extra innings. But anytime you take 2 of 3 on the road, you like that, and they did, and the Apple Sox had an even better weekend. They swept the Victoria Harbor Cats. A couple of tight games and one that wasn't so tight, but Wenatchee is knocking on the door of winning the first half North Division title for the West Coast League. They can do it with a couple of victories this week up in Kamloops. In fact, they play tonight. We'll have that in sports. And speaking of sports, we checked in with our good friend Austin Drade because the Wenatchee Wild schedule is out for the entire upcoming Western Hockey League season. It's always good to talk to about Austin. Season tickets on sale. Some individual game tickets are on sale, but we're going to preview the schedule now that it's out with Austin Drade. I always like to check in with Austin, even in the dog days of summer, and yes, it's going to be hot. Let's take our tour before we have a couple of slides to show for you. There it is, not a cloud to be had in the Wenatchee Valley. The heat advisory starts at 9 o'clock this morning, goes until 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Relative humidity by about 1 o'clock this afternoon is going to be about 15%. Bone dry air is coming our way, and it's going to be hot. I hope your air conditioner is working. The ridge of high pressure is now centered over our area, and it'll be here today and tomorrow before it gets moved out of position on Tuesday night into Wednesday. Camera number 2. So not a long heat wave, but plenty warm. Head on up to Billy Goat. A lot of real estate to be seen there at the Methow River. Looking good as it flows into the Columbia, which looks good. Good morning to Pateras, to Brewster, to Bridgeport, to Omak, to Okanagan, to Riverside, and Tonasket, and all those wonderful places up there. From our Omak camera, right from our Billy Goat camera, 66 degrees, by the way, in Omak. It's also 66 degrees here in Wenatchee Valley. 73 right now already in Ephrata, camera number 3. Up to Lake Wenatchee, it is peaceful, it is calm. You'll be a little cooler up there in Lake Wenatchee, but not much. It's all relative. Sunrise this morning was at 5:08, sunset tonight, 9:01. 15 hours and 54 minutes of daylight, about 40 seconds shorter than yesterday. And camera number 4. Back up to the very tip top of Rude Canyon, I believe. I think that's where we're at. No, it's not Rude Canyon. Rude Canyon's up in Chelan. That's Rude Canyon's elsewhere. That's I forgot. That's Peshastin. There you go. That's high above Peshastin. You're looking at Leavenworth there. I don't see a cloud anywhere. That's the way it's going to be. We just had the 5th driest May on record. Now, I know we're not done with June yet, but there is the stats. We're not going to see any rain today, so for the record, we are going to have the driest June on record. We got a trace of rain, just a little bit, about 7 days ago. All it did was wet the bottom of the rain gauge, and that was it. So congratulations, Wenatchee. We have done it. The driest June on record is about here, unless we get a freak rainstorm, and that's not going to happen. So we think it's pretty safe to say that's it. Driest June ever. And look at all those. Ephrata tied for their driest June on record. It was the driest June in Cooley Dam. Stehekin had the 2nd driest June on record. Chelan, the 2nd driest June on record. Omak, the 4th driest June on record. It's been a long, long time since we had measurable rain at Payne Memorial Airport. That is where the official weather station is, because you got to put it someplace. Heat advisory starts at 9 o'clock today, goes until 9 o'clock Tuesday night. If you live in that area there, the orange area, which is pretty much everybody. Yeah, here comes the warm temperatures again. Each day is going to be about 5 or 6 degrees warmer than the day before. So again, from 79 on Friday to 83 on Saturday to 89 yesterday. Do the math. It's going to be very, very, who's kidding who? It's going to be hot. Probably one of the hotter stretches we've had in quite some time. But it was a pretty warm early June too. From the National Weather Service, again, the ridge of high pressure is now here. So we're looking at about 96, and we're being a little conservative with that. So it's going to be hot today, and the heat will come fairly early today. Clear skies tonight, very mild for the overnight low, which means we'll get off to a warmer start on Tuesday. You folks out in the basin, Quincy, Moses Lake, Freitas, Soap Lake, you're going to get into the triple digits on Tuesday. So is probably the Tri-Cities. We're going to be just close to that, awfully close to it, with a high of 99. Now, don't worry about any record high temperatures, because this is remember 4 years ago we had temperatures 108, 110, 114. We're not going to get there. And then Tuesday night, a cold front's going to come in off the coast of British Columbia. It's going to make things a little breezy. It's also going to flatten out the ridge, which means we're going to see cooler temperatures on Wednesday, but it's going to be a little breezy. We could very well have a red flag warning on Wednesday. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And it's ushering in some cooler airs, so it'll be rather comfortable on Thursday and Friday with no wind. And then for the holiday, Friday, sunshine, about 88, and then it's looking real good for Saturday and Sunday. Outside of a little bit of wind Tuesday night and Wednesday, just lots and lots of sunshine and just plain hot for the next couple of days. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have some news for you on this Monday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Nary a cloud to be had. 66 degrees, will be mid-90s today, close to 100 on Tuesday. Cold front comes in Tuesday night. It's going to cool us down quite a bit, make things a little breezy, and then right around that 90-degree mark, right back at it by Thursday and the holiday, Independence Day, on Friday. It's just about 10 minutes after the hour. Beginning tomorrow, campfires, target shooting, and other activities on lands managed by the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife are restricted. The department says this year's forecast shows an increased risk of wildfires all over the state, and it's important to recreate responsibly on public lands this summer. Personal camp stoves and lanterns fueled by propane, liquid petroleum, or liquid petroleum gas, they are allowed. Target shooting is permitted daily at the Medhow and Asotin Creek shooting ranges. Outside of that, that's about it. Restricted activities include smoking except in an enclosed vehicle, no welding, no operating chainsaws, no operating a motor vehicle away from developed roads. Restrictions go into effect tomorrow and will remain in place until further notice. Motorists in Chelan should brace for some delays in traffic around the 25-mile Creek Bridge on South Lakeshore Road this week. Beginning today, drivers will see single-lane flagger-controlled traffic in that area. The construction work is part of the 25-mile Creek Culvert Replacement Project. It'll replace a dual box culvert with a new bridge to allow post-fire flood flow to flow past under the South Lakeshore Road and into eventually Lake Chelan. A contractor will be conducting geotechnical boring to collect earth samples at the bridge. The delays are scheduled to run from this morning through Wednesday. Revenue projections for the state of Washington took an even gloomier turn last week with a new report from the state's Economic Revenue Forecast Council. The group now projects revenue over the next 4 years will be $720 million less than what the legislature assumed while crafting this newest budget. By the way, the state's budget goes into effect tomorrow. The decrease in tax revenue is attributed to consumer caution, the Trump administration's shifting tariff policy, and possible cuts by Congress to Medicaid and food stamps. Governor Bob Ferguson called the prediction disappointing but not surprising. On Thursday, he called on Congress to cease its Medicaid revision in a press release at the Tri-Cities.
So Washington's Medicaid program, Apple Health, covers approximately 1 in 5 Washingtonians. That's nearly 2 million people. 800,000 of those individuals are children. Here in Central Washington, approximately 70% of all children are on Medicaid. We have a graph here that outlines exactly, county by county, what those percents are. But just to give you an example, in Benton County, it's about 55% of kids are on Medicaid. In some places, it's even higher. In Yakima County, approximately 80% of kids are on Medicaid. In Adams County, it's approximately 90% of kids who are enrolled. In 26 of Washington's 39 counties, more than half of all children are covered by Medicaid.
Back in February, when a windstorm toppled about 15 trees throughout Omi Gardens, a beloved picnic table was among the casualties. Well, a group of local woodworkers banded together at the NCW Wood Shop in Kashmir to restore the table. And just last week, they delivered the refurbished product back to Omi Gardens just in time for summer. John Clark is the owner of NCW Wood Shop on the south side in the Side Street Business Complex in Kashmir. He explained to us how the community effort came together.
I am John Clark, and I own NCW Wood Shop. We are a makerspace for woodworkers here in the Wenatchee Valley area, and we try to service everybody from 9-year-olds all the way up to 90-year-olds. So we're fairly low key. We try to keep our prices to where they're reasonable and allow a lot of people to come in and experience woodworking for maybe the first time. It's small right now, and we hope to get it bigger, but it's a wonderful little community of people who enjoy to do woodworking. This came from a picnic table up in Omi Gardens. We had the windstorm in the spring, and it blew a ton of trees down up there. And they actually brought in a helicopter to remove a bunch of the trees. And so they contacted the Woodworkers Guild. We have a great Woodworkers Guild in the area, and there's so many talented woodworkers in that. All ages, both male and female, and it's a fantastic group. And so Omi Gardens contacted our leader, and he said, "Hey, would you guys be interested in fixing this for us?" And he's like, "Well, let's see what we can do." So he called me. He's like, "Oh, would the wood shop be available if we could get the wood to fix this? We could get people to come in and do this." And I'm like, "Of course, we would love that. It'd be awesome." A gentleman he lives on McKittrick and Walnut, and he's got a whole bunch of stuff there. And he was able to procure a utility pole from Chelan PUD. All telephone poles and utility poles are all made from cedar. and it's usually fairly clean. I know not a lot of knots in it, a lot of straight, not a lot of checking and cracks in it, cedar. And that's what this is made out of. It's rot resistant and it's light. We got Kevin with Timberline to go ahead and mill out the boards, which were not small. So they're 7 feet was the length of all of the boards. So we needed 2 of these. We needed other boards that were like this, that are 6 by 6 by 4 feet, to replace all the parts that were just rotted out and just in bad shape. And so we got the parts here. We were able to mill it out and get it to the right size, and we started assembling it. When the tree fell, it broke this piece here. It broke this, and this one that's under here, this crossbeam. It was fun. We had a really good time.
Is there poetry in a piece of wood?
You know, there can be. There's going to be some really pretty wood out there. I mean, it's kind of neat. I sit in here and we'll teach a charcuterie board class, and somebody will grab the ugliest piece of wood and we're like, you're gonna have something neat out of it. And they're like, I got the last piece to pick from, right? So they were the last ones to pick, and they end up finishing the wood, and they're like, and everybody else is like, where did that wood come from? And it's like, it comes out to be so beautiful and so different and pretty. And every time I get jealous, I'm like, the wood leaves here, and I'm like, I don't want the wood to leave here. I want it to leave with me, because it turns out to be so pretty. And yeah, so it's kind of neat.
Home and Gardens might be a good place to visit for the next couple of days. Higher in elevation, lots of shade, but it's going to be hot almost wherever you go. That is the news here on this Monday. The news will come your way tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on TV, 5, 6, and 10. If you don't consume your television the old-fashioned way, in other words, you don't have a cable company, you just use the World Wide Web, that's okay. Our news will be posted on our homepage, NCWLIFE.com, in its entirety. It'll also be posted on our YouTube page, and a link to our news will be on our Facebook page, all right around 5 o'clock. So you can watch the news whenever you want to. It fits into your schedule. That's what we like to do. If you have a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Pretty good weekend for the Mariners, an even better weekend for the Apple Sox. Sports is right around the corner. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake, with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
The joys of sitting in traffic, burning gas, donating your paycheck to parking enforcement. Or you could join us this June for Ride Transit Month. On Link, you ride for free, anytime, anywhere. Plus, Link's electric buses run on clean local hydropower. Thanks, Columbia River. So while you're saving some cash, you're also saving the planet. So hop on board Link for Ride Transit Month. Stress-free, wallet-friendly, eco-smart.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. It's time to enjoy one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
20 minutes after the hour, sports. The Mariners played their third extra inning game in 3 days yesterday in Arlington, and they escaped with a 6-4 win over the Rangers. Mitch Garver drove in 4 runs. He iced the game with a 2-run homer. In the 12th, Seattle played 3 straight extra inning games for the second time this season. The Mariners are now 6-7 in extra inning games. That's just 1 behind Boston for the most in the majors.
Games now as Young steps in, and he'll shoot one through the right side. That's a base hit. Carter around third. He'll score without a throw. Young with the RBI single. And the Rangers get that first run this afternoon.
Can run on. The one in right field, they're probably not going to run on.
Lined over Seager's head. Arozarena is on his way home, and it's bobbled by Osuna. Wouldn't have mattered either way. This game is now tied. A big 90 feet picked up by Arozarena, and it's cashed in here in the 6th.
There's a bouncer. Shortstop. That one's through, base hit. A run is in. Around third base. Raleigh, the throw comes through. The tag, and they got him. That's a big out. Osuna with a one-hopper to the plate. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
A big base hit for Seattle. Interesting that they would send here.
You can smile about that. 2 gone.
Into left field for a base hit. Arozarena steaming home. The throw is way up the line. It's dropped by Heim, and the Mariners tack on another run. It's the former Ranger Mitch Garver driving in his 2nd run today, making it a 3-1 Mariners lead.
How about the job Mitch Garver's done in this game? He's caught a great game, catching Castillo.
I love that they're pitching to him. And he hits that one high in the air, deep out to left field. That's got a chance. It's gone! Vargas plays with fire, and Seager knocks it out. We've got a new ball game again.
He says, throw me another outside pitch. I'll just go Oppo Taco at 106 miles an hour.
And Seager didn't miss.
1 man left in the bullpen.
And that is?
Off the fist, Young, a little double clutch. Raley scores. Solano out at first, and it's a 4-3 Mariners lead.
Thank you, Coconut Husks. Oh, my goodness.
This ball is torched. Left field, Mitch Garver will come back. Second deck bomb. What a tank in the 12th inning. And the power the Mariners have been thirsting for finally at long last comes to life.
This is the Mitch Garver show against his old team coming back to haunt him. That's when you turn around and you go, bat boy, come get it, baby. We're touching them all.
Popped him up. At long last, this game is in the books, and the Mariners survive.
Seattle used 5 pitchers yesterday. They used 5 pitchers on Saturday. Manager Dan Wilson said Sunday's win depended on the bullpen and, of course, the bat of Mitch Garver.
Where do you begin? I mean, I think in some ways this was sort of a fitting end to a road trip that has involved just about every guy on our roster. And, you know, somebody at some point having a big day, having a big play, having a big moment, and these guys delivered in big moments all the way along throughout the trip. And today was, you know, I thought the Rock giving us 6 there, being able to go back out after the 5th with, you know, 90 pitches and giving us 1 more inning was really big on a night or a day where we had a thin bullpen, and he went out and was just awesome, shut him down. And then the bullpen coming in after him, everybody threw the ball so well, you know, including Thorny there at the end with a couple innings. That was, trying to keep a home team from scoring because we weren't able to score in the top of the inning is really difficult to do, and he executed perfectly. Got a couple big punch outs when we needed it. And then offensively, a lot of big hits, a lot of big circumstances, situations at the end of the ball game where our guys had to come through, and they did. They did, again, from top to bottom. So just a great way to end this road trip and ride this momentum as we go back home. Yeah, Garv, some great at-bats, and hitting the ball hard. He's been swung the bat well, earlier in the road trip as well. So, giving Cal a spell today, behind the plate, but coming up huge with some huge knocks. And, that always feels good in front of the old team, but really good to see that from Garv. He's a grinder. He's worked hard, and again, making the most of those opportunities and executing them. And those were some huge RBIs for this team today.
Mariners are back in Seattle tonight. It's the tail end of a 17 games in 17 days stretch. The Royals are in town. The Mariners will pitch George Kirby. First pitch is at 6:40. To the scoreboard we go. Astros keep winning. They're not winning big, but it's not how, it's how many. So the Astros still maintain a 6.5 game lead over the Mariners. Houston knocked off the Cubs yesterday 2-0. The Rangers, by the way, are 9 games back. Angels 8.5 back of Houston. They lost to the Nationals in extra innings, and the Athletics are the Athletics. The Wenatchee Apple Sox swept the Victoria Harbor Cats over the weekend at home, 10-6 on Friday, a 5-4 walk-off win on Saturday night, and then Wenatchee held off a late Victoria rally yesterday to win 6-5. The Sox are in Kamloops tonight for the first of 3. If Wenatchee wins 2 of their 3 games up north against Kamloops, they will clinch the first half WCL North title and a playoff berth. And to the scoreboard we go. There's Wenatchee's victory. Bellingham won again. They swept Kamloops. Now, Bellingham has already gotten to the 27 games, so they have already played their first half complete schedule. Wenatchee still has 3 games to go. The other winners, Nanaimo, Port Angeles, Marion, Corvallis, Bend, and look, Portland won again. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 27 minutes after the hour. International Asteroid Day is today. And believe it or not, it was founded by the Stephen Hawking and Brian May, the guitarist of Queen. They came up with International Asteroid Day today because of a certain event that happened in Russia a number of years ago. We'll get to that in just a little bit. It is believed, of course, that an asteroid strike killed off the dinosaurs. You know, asteroids can have little bitty particles orbiting them like the moon. It's true. Asteroids can be anywhere from the size of a pebble to hundreds of miles in diameter. And if you want to watch a really cheesy movie about the end of the world because of an asteroid, watch the movie Meteor from 1979. It's really cheesy. Or you can watch Deep Impact or Armageddon, which are more recent. Let's not have one of those anytime in the near future. Today in history, the novel The Jungle, which wasn't really a novel, it was more of a nonfiction book by Upton Sinclair. He revealed all the unsanitary conditions and unscrupulous practices in the meat packing industry. And everybody went, you mean when I go to the store to buy meat, nobody is telling me if it's actually safe? On this date, as a direct response to the book The Jungle, the United States Congress on this date in 1906 passes the Meat Inspection Act and the Pure Food and Drug Act. Remember, when you travel overseas, there are a lot of countries that don't have any kind of oversight to the quality of food that grocery stores and restaurants can sell. We at least have that because, well, thanks Upton Sinclair. Now we have a Food and Drug Administration, which means that the food that you're buying is suitable to eat. This is the anniversary of the Tunguska event, which is why it's Asteroid Day, the largest impact event on Earth that we know about. Obviously, there were bigger ones long before man walked the planet. A massive explosion over eastern Siberia, 80 million trees over an area of 830 square miles of forest. Now, this was eastern Siberia in 1908. Nobody lived there. In fact, they didn't even go looking for what had happened for at least a year. What exactly happened? Did a meteorite or an asteroid actually hit the Earth? No. But as it blasted through the atmosphere, the airburst is what did the damage. The Tunguska event, the largest impact event that we know about, happened in Siberia on this date 117 years ago today. And happy birthday to the Corvette. The first Chevy Corvette rolls off the assembly line in Flint, Michigan, June 30th, 1953. It was called Project Opal, but the board at General Motors wanted a car with a C name in it. So one of the public relations guys, Myron Scott, grabbed a dictionary, flipped through it. He got to the word Corvette, which refers to a very fast ship that's easy to maneuver, and that's how the Corvette got its name. Now, the 1953 Corvette could go from 0 to 60 in 11 seconds, which was very fast in 1953. In case you're curious, the 1953 Corvette retail value $3,498. That's about $43,000 in today's money, but if you have a 1953 Corvette and it's in decent shape, you can get a couple million for it. Happy birthday to the Corvette. Speaking of birthdays, we got 3 of them. If you want to find something way down in the depths of the oceans and the seas, you make one call. Robert Ballard, who found the Titanic in 1985, the wreck of the Bismarck in 1989, the wreck of the Yorktown in 1998, and JFK's PT-109 boat in 2002. If it's down there, he can find it. Give him a call. Robert Ballard is 83 years old. Iron Mike Tyson. For 3 short years, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and then he fought Buster Douglas in February of 1990 in Tokyo, and because of that, I made a lot of money. Thanks, Mike. He's 59 years old today. And Michael Phelps, 23 gold medals, 28 medals overall, 16 of them individuals. No athlete is even anywhere close to the accomplishments of Michael Phelps, the most decorated athlete in Olympics history, summer or winter. He is 40 years old today. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Guess what, folks? Your air conditioner is going to be running pretty much nonstop most of this week. And if it can't handle it, your first call should be to Alpine Air. Had opinion from Mike Mad Dog Minotti coming up, and then we catch up with Austin Drade. For you Wenatchee Wild fans, the 68-game schedule is out. Austin will talk about that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
Celebrate this great country of ours during Rockfest in Rock Island the last Saturday in June. Great music, great bands, great fun. It all happens at the Rock Island Golf Course. Mark your calendars and be prepared for fun, family fun, and live music till the fireworks start crackling. Sponsored by Real Homes alongside Douglas County and Marson & Marson. Pack your chair, pack your picnic basket, or enjoy food from the food trucks. Rockfest in Rock Island the last Saturday in June.
Welcome to Boswell's, where you'll find quality furnishings for every room in your home. Customers ask, do you have solid wood options? Yes, they do. Bamboo, maple, acacia, cherry, mahogany. With 2 floors of quality furniture and complimentary design services, Boswell's design team can create a home that's uniquely yours. For almost a century, people have chosen Boswell's for their quality and customer service. Boswell's Furniture, it's closer than you think.
This is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, here's a poser for you. So Donald Trump runs against Hillary in 2016 and he wins. Now, evidently, that election was fair and there have been no voting shenanigans. But when Trump loses in 2020, suddenly the methods and other voting skullduggery was so egregious that the big lie that the election had been stolen from Trump was not only spouted but incredibly believed by 60% of those in this country who identify as evangelical Christians. But then Trump wins in 2024, and suddenly the election process is honest and free from any malfeasance. Well, isn't that amazing? So what's the question? Did some sort of a miracle occur? Or is our bully-in-chief just spouting lies his supporters are fully willing to support even in the face of reality? Well, God. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, a presentation of Apple Valley Honda. The next historic wine walk through downtown Wenatchee will be on Saturday, June 28th, hosted by the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Pre-register at the museum's website. Tickets are on sale now for Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, the musical. It's this year's Hot August Nights production from Jamie Donegan. Christina Capehart directs this comedy based on the 1988 film. You can get your tickets at the box office or at the website for the pack.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Welcome to the Gilded Lily home, where something extraordinary is waiting for you. The Gilded Lily offers a unique collection of hand-selected, carefully curated items to help you celebrate all of life's special moments. From the budding chef to the home decorator to that very special occasion, there is an abundance of delightful gifts waiting for you. The Gilded Lily home, where you can step in for inspiration and leave with beautiful items to brighten any area of your home.
It's the dog days of summer. Everybody is enjoying beautiful weather. We might as well just talk about hockey. I mean, why not? Because eventually the Wenatchee Wild will strap on the skates and start getting the job done. Schedules are out for the entire Western Hockey League, including the Wenatchee Wild. The usual shenanigans apply. 68 games for all the teams, 34 home, 34 away. Joining me to talk about the Wenatchee Wild hockey, tickets, billet families, what they're doing in the middle of summer is making his first appearance, by the way. I'll wake up Wenatchee Valley, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, Austin Drades. Nice meeting you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, how you been?
Good. How are you?
How's summer going for you? What do you do now? I mean, you still work.
Still work. There's enough to keep me. There's enough to keep me busy, but it's a little bit slower. It gives me some time to catch up on the off days and do a little bit of traveling. Headed home to see family later in the summer. So.
But of course, for Bliss and Clarkey and the coach and everybody else, it doesn't stop. They work straight through. That's a myth and misconception. Hey, the hockey season's over. We can head off to our cabin at the lake and our hammock and do all that stuff. That's not the case.
Yeah. I mean, for us in the front office, this is a time to get things done before we have to do them during the season. So get all of our ducks in a row, get sponsorships lined up, sell the season tickets, and for the hockey ops staff, this is the time to sign players, to make any trades they want to make, and to scout players coming up for the import draft, or even get a head start on guys that are 14 years old now that they might want to be picking up about this time next year in the prospect draft.
Well, let's talk about all four of these things. A lot of transactions have been going on over the last month or so. When the WHL goes into the off season, is it every man for himself, or are there little windows that you can make deals with other teams or sign other players? Or is it pretty much it's just an open book?
I think it's more an open book, but there are certain milestones along the way. You have the off season doesn't begin until the prospect draft, which is usually second week of May. So especially because the postseason's still going on, and there are more than a few teams that are still playing at that point. There's no trades, no transactions, anything like that. You can sign players, but you're not trading them. And then after that, you start seeing some trades unfold. Now you start seeing some of the guys that you drafted start signing with the teams. And we've made one trade so far during the off season, but mostly it's been signing players that we already had the rights to, or in the case of a few guys here recently, guys that we just picked up in the draft from the 2010 class.
When trades are made, transactions during this time of the year, is it always between two clubs of the Western Hockey League that are making these deals?
Usually, yeah. You'll see most of the time when you see guys moving between leagues, it'll be reassignments. Guys that we have signed, guys that we have rights to. You're not going to be on the team this year, or we haven't fully signed you yet. You head back to maybe you head back to the USHL. We sent I think it was Mason Bopit back to the USHL. He caught on in the BCHL after that. So there will be some movement between leagues, but mostly those are reassignments. These are trades within the Western Hockey League circle.
What about those players who are returning this year? They played for the Wild last year. You know they're going to be back in camp in August, and they'll be skating for what kind of communication between the front office and the coaches and the players when the season ended and before they report in August?
A lot of times it'll be just checking in with the guys. How's your summer going? How's the training going? Our training staff, Larissa, she handles a lot of communication with the guys to make sure that their training is on track, their diet's on track. If they're dealing with some injuries at the end of the season, how's the recovery going? How's the trip back from that coming? So there's a lot of communication between the hockey ops staff and our guys during the off season. That's mostly what it is, checking in and keeping you on track for the start of next season.
And the days of training camp are long gone. You're expected to show up in Wenatchee in late August in shape. I mean, the old days, it was the idea of the training camp and everybody reports just to get in hockey shape. Not anymore. You're supposed to stay in hockey shape year round. Yeah,
we used to have a futures camp in it was usually late April, early May, I think, after the season had ended, unless we made a huge run like we did in 2018, and then we'd have the tryout camp early June, usually in line with most of the USHL teams, and then the North American League teams will have theirs later on. And we'd bring a few more guys to camp in August than we expected to keep around, play a few preseason games. That's where we make our final decisions. Now it's bring guys to camp. We've got our group signed. We'll bring some guys to camp, get them exposure, maybe get them into a few preseason games, get them their first taste of life in the WHL, and then the guys that we are not going to keep, we'll send them on their way. So it's more backloaded now than it used to be, and those decisions are made more behind the scenes with signing than it is with everybody come in, try out for the team. We sign guys and have them ready to go when camp starts in late August.
The schedule is out for every team. There's 23 teams now in the Western Hockey League now that Penticton is moved over to where they should be anyway. Before we get into some of the more important games, it's a very unique schedule. The process, how does that work? Do the general managers, and obviously the people who run the arenas, everybody has to be on the same page, say, the Whites and Bliss and Gretchen and Mark Miller at the Town Tennis Center. We have a concert on this date or a trade show on this date because it's a multi-purpose arena. Mm-hmm. For a lot of the Canadians teams, it's a hockey rink and they really don't have any multiple purpose kind of things going on. Talk about how that whole process works for how the schedule is hammered out for all 23 teams. Is the league just do it? Or how does that work?
Well, early on, I think it's even during the previous season, late in the previous season, the teams in each division will get together and decide on dates for their purposes, and then after that it goes to the league. So the league will determine, these teams coming in from Saskatchewan and Manitoba, those schedules have to be coordinated so they can make a coordinated road trip all the way through. Or in our case, we'll split up the Alberta road trip and make a couple of them. But when can we slot these teams in to make a good road trip that fits, where they can hit all of these teams or half of these teams in one shot? So when you get to that level where you're talking cross-division, cross-conference travel, that's when the league jumps in and they've got the dates from the teams that, hey, we always play at home on New Year's Eve. This day is Family Day in Canada, and we'd like to play a home game on this day. Sure. We'd like to get at least one game in at home between Christmas and New Year's because it's been a huge draw for every team, including us. we'd like to make sure we have a game in there somewhere. So the league gets those dates, and they'll determine once we get past the point of here's when the divisional games are, okay, when can we slot in these other games across the divisions, across the conference. So it's kind of a split format in terms of setting the schedule, but the final say goes to the league, and there's a lot of review back and forth behind the scenes the last couple of weeks before we're able to say, we have a 68-game schedule. Here it is.
And, of course, there are a couple of teams in the league, Canada-based teams, that share the same arena with NHL teams, so we have to coordinate that, too.
There is.
A lot of moving parts.
We'll actually play 2 games in those buildings this year. Calgary and Edmonton still play in the NHL buildings. Calgary shares it with an AHL team, too. I know at least Calgary shares it with a professional lacrosse team. They have concerts in those buildings very frequently, so those facilities are hopping all the time. And that's why you'll see maybe an extra Sunday afternoon game in Calgary or an extra Monday or Wednesday game in Edmonton. They know they're going to draw some good crowds because they have good followings and big populations up there. But sometimes they need to work those games around some other events.
The 5 American teams are all in the same division. There's 5 or 6, can't remember. Spokane, Wenatchee, Tri-City, Everett, Portland, Seattle. Those are in the same division. Where does Penticton fall in this year? Because now we have an odd number of teams, right?
Yeah, so they'll be in the BC division. They'll be up there with Prince George and Vancouver and Victoria and Kamloops and Kelowna. So they'll have a good rivalry right off the bat with Kelowna. They're going to see them a lot this year. And I think their first home game is going to be against Kelowna, so it's less than an hour door to door from Penticton's building to Kelowna's building. So the BC division, even though they're only 3 hours plus from us, I think the BC division is going to be a very good fit for them.
Absolutely, and it should be pointed out, it's good to have Penticton in the WHL. They should have been there a while ago, but this is nice. This is good.
It's really good to have them in the league again. Number one, they're a team that, just like us, operated to the highest standards they could, probably as close to, if not exceeding WHL standards as they could in terms of operations, buildings, amenities, that sort of thing.
So they're a perfect fit.
They're a perfect fit for the league, and we're glad to see them back because we had a good rivalry going with them for 8 years. It's time to rekindle this thing and get back at them again.
They used to send a busload back in the old BCHL days. They would send a busload of these fans down here to our neck of the woods, drinking our beer and cheering on their team. They travel well, don't they?
And paying us their money, too.
Yeah, we like that a lot. No big, long road trips this year. No big, long home stands. It's kind of everybody still has the same thing. Everybody has 34 home games, 34 road games, but we don't have any long road slogs this year. I think the longest road trip is 5 games. The longest homestand is 5 games.
Yeah, the longest road trip of the year might even be 4 games, but it'll be a full week on the road. We'll go up and play Tuesday and Wednesday in Red Deer and Edmonton in mid-March, and then we'll make the hop across 16 and go over to Prince George and take care of our couple of games up there. So it's a nice schedule this year. There's nothing that really jumps out at you to say, yikes, this year, which is really nice. There won't be any long road trips, no week and a half on the road that we usually have when we go out to Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and there won't be any stretches where we play 3 weeks in a row and we're going to have to play these road games and make this up at some point. It's a good balanced schedule this year, and I'm excited about the trip up to Edmonton because even though it's going to be odd playing an 11 a.m. game up there, it'll be 10 a.m. here in Wenatchee. We get to play on their hockey hooky game, which is their big school day game. It's a field trip for thousands of students in Edmonton, which means our guys will get a chance to play in a sold-out or nearly sold-out NHL venue, which, unless these guys make it to the NHL or a huge AHL game, most of these guys will never get to do that again.
You've called a game in what was it? Where was it last year? NHL arena that you got to call it? Was it?
2 years ago, we got to do Calgary and Edmonton.
And so you've been to the Edmonton barn then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you did, and I know you like calling the games in those big NHL arenas.
It's really neat, especially when you have a big crowd in there. I think we had about 9,000 in there, so the lower bowl was full when we played Edmonton. It's neat to look down and see that NHL logo on the ice. We came in when right after Calgary and Edmonton had just played Hockey Night in Canada. the Battle of Alberta against each other on national TV that night, and we hop into the building 2 hours after the game ends and unload our gear. So all the TV lights are still on. That Oilers logo never comes off the ice, and we're all looking around and saying, this just got real. This is, we get to play here tomorrow.
Yeah, and the players respond to that too, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they really do.
Everybody wants to play on Fridays and Saturdays. That's just the nature of the beast. In the old BCHL days, we would have Thursday games and Tuesday games and stuff that just nobody really liked. But the league understands that Friday nights and Saturday nights, that's when people go out and do stuff. And of our 34 home games, 30 of them are weekend games, 11 Friday, 10 Saturday, and 9 Sundays. Sugar on the ice cream there.
It's a good schedule. We'll get a chance to. We'll still get one Saturday night off in October. We'll get a few Friday nights off during the season, but it is a very weekend-heavy schedule, and that's when folks have the free time to come out and see a game. Is on Fridays and Saturdays. I think the earlier starts for Sunday games, the results have spoken for themselves there as well. So to have 30 games on weekends, I think is going to be a big help. And the Western Hockey League and junior leagues across the country, they understand that. Number one, they want to play when the crowds come out, but they also want to have the weeks free as much as possible so that the guys can train, so that the guys can practice and go to school. That helps quality of life and quality of play for the kids too. So playing on the weekends is a benefit to everybody, and we're glad we get a lot of those games, almost all of them, on the weekends. And the one of the four that we don't is New Year's Eve. So we get to play a holiday game there, and we know it'll be a big crowd, and we're looking forward to a big group showing up to see us play that night.
That's the Thunderbirds, I believe, for the New Year's Eve game. So all the usual promotions that everybody loves, Hockey Fights Cancer, Guns and Hoses, all of them that have been staples of the organization, they're all coming back. Most of the dates have been locked in for the big promotions, right?
Yeah, most of the dates have been locked in. We're not ready to announce all of them just yet, but the home opener, the Guns and Hoses, Hockey Fights Cancer, the traditional Jersey auction nights, the big weekends, those are all set in stone. So coming up in the next few weeks, we'll be announcing the big dates, and then later on in the summer, we'll lay out the whole 34-game slate. But we're going to have something going every night.
What's the early word on the upcoming season? As we mentioned this before, and this is part and parcel of the league. There have been many teams in the past. They roll the dice. They try and get as much talent for one run at the Cup. All of them except one will fall short. The most recent example of that is the Spokane Chiefs franchise of this past year, who I thought was going to take it all with the talent that they brought in. So now everything changes with the roster turnover. Who's going to be the early teams in our specific division, the 6 teams that are you're going to keep an eye on? I mean, Everett had a great year last year. Portland had a good run, obviously. Yep. Spokane, who's stocked up for a deep run, you think? I
think Everett and Portland are the first two that come to mind, simply because they're solid every single year. They never. It's hard to really reload in the Western Hockey League because of the way it's structured. But the teams that are able to stay competitive even when they're not making long runs, those are the teams like Everett. They've been around 21 years now. They've never missed the playoffs in those 21 years. Even in the down years, they're still playing into April. So I think Everett is always a favorite to at least stick around for a little while. And of course, they'll have some of their top guys back. Landon DuPont certainly comes to mind. And Portland always seems to find a way to find the right talent, get them in the building, and get them going again. And I think Portland is going to be another team to watch. Tri-City just hired a new coach out of their staff in Jody Hull. So I think Tri-City is going to try to make a run for it again. But I don't think there's going to be a weak team in the U.S. division. There never is, and I don't think this will be the year either.
When you play 68 games, it all sorts itself out.
It does.
You know, you can't be lucky. You got to be good. It's as simple as that to win our division or the conference or whatever the case may be. Season tickets have been available for quite some time. You get a hold of the Wild office directly and get your season ticket package. That's the way to go. Individual game tickets that are on sale now?
Not yet. The home opener is on sale.
Okay.
Right now, the individual games will go on sale later on in the summer. But again, we've got the promotional schedule to release. We've got single game tickets to open up. So that time will come, but we're not quite there yet.
if you go to the website, the schedule is posted for each team and the Wenatchee Wild individually. You can sort by home and away, so you can go say, I want to see the entire home schedule, and then you can start circling your calendar for individual game tickets. Hockey players need a place to sleep. They need food to eat. Billet families, that time of the year, right? Let's get them.
Very,
some homes.
Very important. We just brought our new billet coordinator on a couple of weeks ago. She's already on our staff. She's our bookkeeper, Jessie, but she's working hard to find billet families for these guys to stay with. And here in the Valley, we need upwards of 60 of them because we have the Western Hockey League team, we have the 2 academy teams, the 18U and the 16U as well. So it's really important to have a good stable of billet families to give these guys a good home away from home. And there are so many benefits that come with being a billet family. Number one, you get the couple of free tickets to see the Wild play for all the home games, but you also get a stipend for feeding the guys and housing them. But you also get a good relationship with a player who comes in who really does become part of your family. I hear stories all the time of guys who have invited their billet families to their weddings, or they keep in touch with them. They have kids and they send them pictures of the newborns because they become like family, even though they're not blood, but they're still family. They may stay with you for a year or two, but they never leave you.
Yeah, I remember one billet family I talked to, and he was had a chance to go visit his the player that he housed during his parole hearing. So that's a joke, Austin.
We hope to avoid those. Conjugal visits, yeah, we hope to avoid
Austin
those.
Drade, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. Good to see you, my friend. We get together again when here? Coming up in the not-too-distant future?
I think so.
Good. Have a good summer.
You too.
All right. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back. Cashmere's Founders Day is wrapped up in one big fun-filled day, Saturday, June 28th from 10 to 6. Founders Day began in 1979, celebrating all that Cashmere has to offer. The classic car show is always a favorite in the heart of downtown, as well as the ping pong ball drop in the park. And of course, the day concludes with a grand parade at 5 p.m. Please support these businesses during your visit to Cashmere. The Cashmere Chamber of Commerce, promoting the businesses in Cashmere.
I'm Brian Kelsey. Welcome to House Calls. Join us as we tackle some great home projects, as well as look back at favorites from Ron Hazelton on House Calls. Watch House Calls on NCWLIFE channel.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the P&W for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition. Here's a good-looking pizza, guaranteed to bring some summer smiles. And right now, it's on sale, so it's good for your wallet too. This giant is loaded with toppings and can feed up to 6 people. Order at abbys.com. Give us a call or just drop by. It's the summer of good, only at Abby's Legendary Pizza.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
An hour ago when this show started at 7 o'clock, it was 64 degrees. It is now 70 already, and we're in for a warm is not the word. It's going to be hot. Heat advisory kicks in just about an hour, 9 o'clock this morning, and it will go until 9 o'clock tomorrow night. If you live in the Orange area, which is pretty much everybody who's watching us, you are under the heat advisory. It is going to be very, very warm. We've already, earlier this month, we got up to 102 on one day. We're not going to get to 102. The warmest day is going to be tomorrow. That is when the ridge of high pressure will be at its peak. But then it's going to get knocked out of alignment by some cool air coming in from British Columbia. It's going to flatten the ridge down, but it's only going to drop temperatures a little bit, and it'll pick up wind just a little bit on Tuesday night and Wednesday. From the National Weather Service, after a high of 83 on Saturday and 89 yesterday, we're going to bump it up to about 96 today. we can safely call it hot, and it's going to be very warm for the overnight low, 70. And that gives us a pretty warm start to Tuesday. That's why we think we're going to top off at about 99. You folks out of the basin, Moses Lake, Ephrata, Soap Lake, you're going to get to 100 at least, maybe even 101. And then comes a little bit of wind and the cool down on Tuesday night. So Wednesday, we're only going to get up to 91, but it's going to be windy. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a red flag warning on Tuesday. Jumping ahead to Friday, because that's the holiday. A lot of people will be off on July 4th. It's going to be sunny and nice and warm, but not too hot. And that's it for us. Have a good and safe Monday. We will see you tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.